Hi, welcome to another video from Nerdy Tech Tips channel. Today I will be showing you how to create your own password vault. As you can see, I do have a password vault and I've got an extension installed on my browser. There is a iOS app and Android app to download if you want to look at your passwords. It's kind of your personal password storage service. You can host it yourself or you can use hosted one, which is provided by Bitwarden. Or if you do not trust them or you want to host it yourself on your premises, you can do a hosting on a VPS as well in cloud like Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, wherever you would like to, whatever you may find cheaper solution. Now, I'll quickly show you how that one works. I'm going to GoDaddy.com. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. It's going to autofill my login information. As you can see, as I clicked on it, I'm able to log in. That's it. It's a great service and I do not need to use the same password for all of the logins. That's a good security, and also I do not need to worry about remembering all the passwords, because even though if you lose your vault, let's say you lose your vault, you can still recover your passwords. Every service has like your phone number or your recovery email, whatever. You would be able to still recover your password anyway. So it's better to use a password that is very complicated and hard to guess and hard to crack down. Now it does offer two-factor authentication as well. I will show you how that one works. So basically I'm showing you here you can do a hosting on your Hyper-V manager. You can create a new virtual machine and that way you can actually install Ubuntu 18.04 and you can install that and then you can do a hosting on that. It's just kind of a one-step one-click installation but in a command prompt. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm not going to host it on a Hyper-V, but rather I will do it on Google Cloud, so it is accessible everywhere. It will be very cheap to host it on a Google Cloud because it will cost you a few cents every month to keep that running. So why not to do it? And it's secure. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new VM instance. It's called virtual machine instance. Over here you can name it whatever you would like to, and we're going to go ahead the hosting region. US is faster for me, so I'm going to leave that on default. One virtual CPU is enough. Over here we can select a custom image or public image. I'm going to go click on public and Ubuntu and make sure you've selected Ubuntu 18.04. You can do it on 20 the new version as well, but I'm going to do it on 18.04 because it works well. I'm going to allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic because that way I will be able to create SSL certificate if I wish to. And you can also do that if you're hosting it on your local network. Then you need to open port 80 and port 443. That way you will be able to create free SSL certificate using SSL. Let's encrypt. So let's go ahead. Our virtual machine is ready. We're going to log in using SSH, but before we do that I want to make sure it has a static IP. That is the most important part. When you're doing it in virtual cloud, you do need to make sure you have a static IP assigned on your virtual machine. So over here I'm gonna go click on external IP addresses, and then we're going to go ahead and click on delete the old IP address. I've created it previously. That's for another tutorial for Riot, kind of a Discord service, self-hosted one. Well, that's for another video. Make sure you like and subscribe so you do not miss out any interesting tutorials and you may wish to learn. So over here, as you can see, it's really easy to choose a static IP on Google Cloud. So copy that external IP address because I want to forward a domain. I'm going to go ahead and click a new create a new domain. I mean subdomain. I do have a domain name which is nerdytechtips.com. To create a subdomain, I'm going to create a record and host name would be Bitwarden. Maybe nerdybit, whatever you may wish to, points to this IP address. Whatever you put in under host, that will be your subdomain. So as you can see, I'm going to type nerdybit. So my subdomain would be nerdybit.nerdytechtips.com. that will be pointing to that particular IP address that I've just copied, and that's my static IP for this virtual machine. Now that part is done, we're going to go ahead and SSH into the virtual machine. When you click on SSH, if you see connecting box here, it means it's working fine for you. If you do not see that, there is a problem. You may wish to close the browser, maybe use a different browser. If there is some kind of a blocker or anything else installed, make sure to disable everything, so that will work fine. Now I want to run everything in sudo, so I'm going to type sudo -i. So as you can see, now I am a root user. I will be able to type whatever I want to, and it will run in a root mode with the root privilege. So first thing first, we always update our Linux environment, which is apt-get space update, and then you wanna use the same command but with upgrade. Now it's installing all the dependencies and any packages that needs to be updated on this LTS version of Ubuntu. So it is actually installing all the upgrades. We'll just wait a little while. I will fast forward the video and let's see. As you can see, it has finished installing and updates. Now we need to type this to install Docker, apt space install space docker.io. These are the two requirements we need to do. Actually 3 steps. First you update the operating system, then you install Docker, and then you go ahead and install Docker Compose. Then we can go ahead and start the installation of our Bitwarden, self-hosted Bitwarden password vault. Now as you can see, Docker has finished. Now we need to install Docker Compose. Now I'm going to leave these commands under the description of this video, so you can just simply copy and paste. So the next command to install Docker is this. So now we are finished with installing Docker. Now this one is to actually transfer Docker Compose file from the library from GitHub. As you can see, I have downloaded it. Now we're going to go ahead and install it. So for installing, you just type apt-install space docker space compose. Oh, sorry, we need to leave the dash alone. We don't need to use dash. We need to delete that and run the command without it. So it should install Docker Compose. Now you've got all the softwares, all the needed requirements that is required by Bitwarden already installed on your operating system. Docker Compose is there, Docker is there, and our operating system is also up to date. Now everything is done. The final step is to actually install Bitwarden. Copy this command from the description and paste it. Basically this is the only one command that you need to copy and paste, and after that you just type bitwarden.sh and space install. It will start the installation process and you will be asked for your domain name. Now our domain is nerdybit.nerdydetectives.com. You're going to type this domain over here, so our SSL certificates can be generated. So we're going to use Let's Encrypt because I'm doing a hosting on VPS, and port 80 and 443 are open. Need to type an email address here. So once you do that, you hit enter and it will start generating the SSL certificate. And once the installation process has finished, all you need to type the same command /bitwarden.sh space install. Instead of install, you type start. So I believe that's the command. We're going to go ahead and see. Anyways, it will tell you what command you need to type to start Bitwarden. So you don't really need to copy that from description. You can basically copy from the command line too. Oh, before we go ahead, I'm going too fast. We need installation key. So to get an installation key, you need to go to this not IP address, to this domain bitwarden.com/host, and when you click on that, it will open up their official website. You type in your email address that you will be using, or you might want to use. It's not really important. You just need an email address. So you type in email address and then it will provide you installation key. So let's go ahead and do that. So our admin email address should go there. So what email address should I use? I've got plenty. How about using dual login? which is basically for two authentications are no longer used. So installation ID, and make sure you also type installation key because they are different for every single installation. Alright, so we're going to copy and paste and hit enter. It will ask us installation key, and then we're going to copy and that paste and then hit enter key, and it will begin the rest installation process that is left, and it should be done in few minutes. As you can see, the installation has finished. Now we're going to copy this command bitwarden.sh and start just without those commas around it, and now our bitwarden has started. Now our self-hosting bitwarden password vault has finished installing. We're basically starting it up, just starting an application. It's just pulling all the needed tools that it requires to store data, to run HTTPS service, or provide you notifications and everything and all the stuff. So we'll just wait for a little bit and it'll provide you your domain, and you just basically copy that, put it into the browser, and you should be good to go, and you should be able to log in into your bitwarden. Now there are a few steps involved further than that. However, you can keep using your bitwarden after that, but if you may wish to configure multiple users or configure two-factor authentication on bitwarden, and also if you want to register a new user on your self-hosted bitwarden application or password vault, you do need to actually configure your email address, basically configuring an email account. Now it's no different than adding an email account on your basically Gmail app. Let's say not a Gmail app, let's say you want to add your Outlook email or your company email on your iPhone email application. So basically you enter your details of the email provider, like what is the address of SMTP server, what port they use, and what is your password. Basically that's what we need to do. I'm going to show you step by step how you can do it. Now you may get few errors, give it a time. You might need to restart your bitwarden to make it work, or reboot your operating system, but make sure you do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and create an account. By default it doesn't have any account here. Make sure, do not get confused, you do need to create an account. Now when you type in your email address, let's see what it says. Are we able to log in, or what happens? I'm going to go ahead. I basically need to create I have cut that part. We need to create an email account. It doesn't work basically because it never asks for our password in the installation process. How you can assume you would be able to log in into that? So I was just being dumb over here. Create a login, type in the email address, type in your master password for all of your passwords. That's why I assume it's called master password, because that is the password that will allow you to unlock all of your stored password and this vault. Now it doesn't only just store passwords, it also store your credit card details if you may wish to. If you trust this service as much as I do, well, I do not need to store my credit card details because I don't really use them like that. PayPal account is way enough more than that, so I don't need to store my credit card details. However, some of you may need to store your credit card details if you're traveling and you may lose your credit card. You might want to temporarily block it so nobody can use it, but you may want to just use it sometimes. So that's what people do generally. As you can see, it is asking me to verify your email address. We cannot verify email address. However, it will say that email has been sent, but where it has been sent, it doesn't have any email server running on it. So how it can send emails? Basically it will be using your personal email account. Now I would recommend you to actually create a new email account specifically for this purpose. I'm gonna use the same email account. You need to go to that folder, cd, bitwarden data slash env, and then go to that file, nano to that file. When you nano to the file, you will find few options here. As you can see, it is asking for a smtp address, smtp port, ssl. Well, we're going to leave it false. You need to type in your username as an email address, and you need to type your password here. So I'm gonna fill in these details, and I'm gonna blur out my password here because I don't want to give anybody an idea what passwords I may use with my dummy email addresses. So let's go ahead and we're going to Gmail server settings. So I'm just going to show you, if you do not know your email address server settings, if it's a self-hosted one, you may ask to the administrator, maybe ask the administrator, or if it's a Gmail just like me, check the details here, Google them. You should be able to find them and fill them however you may like. The ports are available 587. You can leave it to default. SMTP address is smtp.gmail address. Username should be your email address, and just get along with it. Once you're done, you save the file, maybe rerun the Bitwarden, reboot the installation, or restart Bitwarden. Basically, I would say if you don't want to restart, you can reboot the operating system. It will restart automatically your Bitwarden. So that way, that email query will be sent every time a new user will be registered, or if somebody will be registering to your Bitwarden, let's say your family member, they want to use your Bitwarden as well. Actually, they will be able to receive emails to verify their email address for your server requirements. That's all you need to do. So now we're finished with the password. I don't need to blur it out. I just cut that part. So you do not need to see me filling my password. I've logged in into my vault. Over here, we have clicked on send, and as you can see, green tick, check your inbox for a verification link. And we're going to go ahead and into our email address. As you can see, it has sent me an email, verify your email. So I'm going to click on that, verify my email address, and log in into my Bitwarden and log in. Now the last step, I'm going to show you how to set up two-factor authentication. You may follow the steps on the screen. It's very easy. You do not need to use Duolingo or any other service. The easiest one is Authenticator, provided by Google. You can use that. It's totally free, and scan that into your Authenticator app. Should be able to good to go. So if you like that video, please like and subscribe. Make sure you check out our Facebook page, and do not forget to check out our blog where I provide the tutorials as well. Thanks for watching. You guys have a nice day.